As you can see, Sophie and Caitlin Clark are both rushing up to the referee here following the game. Both of them are very distressed. Additionally, the referee is simply leaving them. He refuses to even meet their eyes. He continues to revolve. At one point, Sophie even got up and started tapping his arm. He refused to give them a glance. With a sold-out crowd, playoff excitement, and Caitlin Clark playing the reigning champions, the Indiana Fever enjoyed their best game to date. It became a referee show instead of the WNBA highlight reel that it was supposed to be. Caitlin Clark was compromised. A phantom foul was thrown against Lexi Hull. Additionally, the referees pretended to be attempting to give the victory to New York. Not only were fans perplexed, they were incensed. Stephanie White, the coach, expressed her frustration. Additionally, Caitlin didn't hold back either. This was more than one awful evening. It's a problem, a pattern. Additionally, it is harming the league as a whole, and it's disappeared even more now. The WNBA recently suspended Commissioner Kathy Angelbert in a startling decision. Yes, according to internal investigations. The commissioner disregarded growing pressure from players, coaches, and supporters and neglected to address the growing number of officiating complaints. This is the first time it has ever happened in the league's history. To be honest, nobody is shocked anymore. This is when things become even more bizarre. There are rumors that certain league executives and owners had been subtly pressuring her to go for weeks, particularly after well-known athletes like Caitlin Clark and their coaches began openly expressing their displeasure. Some claim that poor referees weren't the only factor in this. Kathy was made the scapegoat in order to preserve the league's reputation. Stay tuned as we dissect every missed call, every insane situation, and the reasons the WNBA needs to address. This before losing the supporters they recently won. Let's begin. This has been expertly rigged by them. This league has been expertly rigged by them. The league isn't even trying to be subtle. They aren't even trying to be subtle. God, please. It's embarrassing. It is humiliating. Let's not mince words. Individuals are accusing this league of being rigged, and they're not being subtle either. Something wasn't quite right from the first time the Indiana Fever took the court. This home game wasn't like the others. It resembled a playoff match. In Indianapolis, the audience was roaring. There were no stars. The energy is unparalleled. It seemed as though the referees were there to sabotage, even though the Fever was there to fight. Without warning, Caitlin Clark was hacked from head to toe, playing immaculate defense. Lexi Hull was called for a foul that never happened. I thought it was kind of odd that this referee would not even recognize the players. The referee should have enough faith in their calls to at least talk about them. So when I saw that, I thought, this is really strange. At minimum, you ought to be able to talk about something. The Liberty, on the other hand, were living below the free throw line. And this is starting to happen more often than not. Let me ask you this. Did you think this was fair to you as a live viewer? It wasn't last night that this began. The physicality increased as soon as Caitlin Clark joined the league. She was being held, bumped, and even blindsided off the ball by players. The referees were also quiet. Do you remember the off-ball hit made by Kennedy Carter that was dangerous in addition to being filthy. The referees also ruled it a common foul. Just another planat, a technicality, not even a flagrant. It's not just Clark either. Whistle after whistle has been blown on the entire Fever team. It's unbelievable what I'm going to say. The Indiana Fever have the WNBA's most formidable, boisterous, and terrifying home court advantage. I was robbed at home just now. I witnessed it live on CBS with my own eyes. Do you want the figures? You go now. This season, the Fever's free throw differential is now -31. It's not a typo. It's a crisis. Let's return to the Liberty game now. This matchup has it all. Aaliyah Boston threads a pass from Caitlin Clark. Highlight plays. Significant momentum swings and defensive energy are all provided by Lexi Hall. It had every component needed to become an immediate classic. What did we receive instead, though? Refer to the drama. 32 free throw attempts were made by the Liberty. The Fever are only 15. In a close game, that is more than double. It's more than simply a statistic. The outcome is determined by a swing. Furthermore, number wasn't the only factor. The call's caliber was the problem. New York's soft touch fouls, body screenings against the Fever are not being called for. Two distinct sets of rules. Caitlin Clark was being pushed out of her position and simply mauled on the last possession. Not a single whistle, but for distinct fouls. Is it possible that LeBron or Steph might experience that during a crucial postseason game? It's disappointing. In other words, you are aware that it either doesn't go both ways or hasn't, but we also can't let that get to us. Can we? For example, we must be able to play through that. The things that we can control must be within our power. Since it was a tight ball game, I thought that our late game execution was generally strong, especially in the second half of the fourth quarter. This leads us to Stephanie White, the coach, following the match. She didn't hold back. During the press conference after the game, she gave it her all. A disparity of -31 free throws. We're also going after the rim. The level of disdain has been astounding. That is an annoyance. Fury is what that is. Additionally, it has been developing for weeks. The warning from Stephanie White wasn't limited to the referees for her players. That is, she assured them that she had their back, that she is aware of what is being placed, the fact that she will not overlook it. To be honest, that type of leadership is important, particularly for a young group that is still figuring itself out. Let's now discuss Caitlyn. Her body language spoke louder than words. Yet she didn't go all out on the references. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Her voice was filled with irritation, and her tone was one of tiredness. Aaliyah Boston chose the traditional no-comment approach. That stillness, however, says a lot when you've been watching the game. This is where things start to get very crazy. Commissioner Kathy Engelberts has reportedly been suspended by the WNBA. Yes, you heard correctly. The top boss has left. Why? Because she disregarded months' worth of complaints over the officiating. According to internal reports, fans were utterly tired, coaches were incensed, and players were unhappy. That's not all though there are rumors that certain owners have been quietly pushing for her to go. And the game was finished when celebrities like Caitlin Clark began giving public speeches. According to some, Kathy was used as a scapegoat. Some people think it was long overdue. In any case, this is the most significant reorganization the WNBA has saw in a long time. This is the offer. This league is at a turning point. At last, the WNBA is visible. There is a rise in attendance. TV viewership is increasing. Millions of new people have discovered the game thanks to Caitlin Clark alone. But you know what? Fans are witnessing missed calls and unbalanced officiating officials who don't even seem to be making an effort to conceal their bias. Fans are also not stupid. They are familiar with basketball. They are aware of the appearance of a foul. Additionally, if the product seems rigged, they won't stay. This year is just another instance of WNBA officials making poor decisions and failing to catch Caitlin Clark. The WNBA had a fantastic chance to turn casual fans into diehards, but they're driving people away with each missed call. I want to know if you would continue to watch a league that doesn't defend its players. The league needs to take things seriously now. Fixing the officiating is not the only goal here. The goal is to preserve the game's integrity, about ensuring that all players receive an equal opportunity, regardless of their level of fame, because this is the reality. The league won't have another opportunity like this if Caitlin Clark's fan base leaves. The Fever have fulfilled their obligation. Their players are engaged in combat. Their coach is raising his voice. The fans are displaying their enthusiasm. It is now time for the league to react. What actually transpired with Kathy Engelbert then? After watching the video from the Wild Liberty versus Fever game, the league initially claimed she made the audacious decision to suspend the referees. The official stance was about accountability and upholding the league's integrity. They stated so in public. However, the truth becomes far more messy and fascinating when you peel back the layer. Several league insiders claim that on the same evening, senior WNBA executives discreetly requested that Gilbert step down. This is the worst part. This went beyond a single unpleasant evening or a few overlooked nuances. For months, the pressure had been increasing. Why? The main explanation is on claims of bias, particularly partiality to the New York Liberty. And it's not just conspiracy theories from fans. The league itself is the source of this. Let's go back to the WNBA finals from last year. The Minnesota Lynx lost a fiercely contested series to the Liberty. People continue to discuss what transpired after the game, rather than just the game itself. Wearing a dress in the colors of the Liberty team, Kathy Engelbert took to the court. The picture of her grinning as she presented the prize in blue and black went viral, and those watching at home were like, wait, what? She appeared to be